Drew and Fuse Show, the Drew and Fuse Show. They clean up nicely. It's the Drew and Fuse Show, the Drew and Fuse Show, the Drew and Fuse Show. Yeah, they clean up nicely. Yeah.
Hey,
what up? How's it going?
Got that new intro plugged in this time. No edit needed.
It always sounds super choppy on my end, but then I listen back on it. It sounds amazing. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it does that to me sometimes too. So it's this bootleg recording platform that one of our not sponsors, Liquid Death, hooked us up with because we're not sponsored by Liquid Death, but we always drink it in the podcast, and pretty much if it wasn't for us, they would be nothing. My mom sent me a link to an article that said the company's worth $700 million now, and they still can't even sponsor your boys. Isn't that some shit? 700 million.
Might not be a lot of money to some people, man, but I'm in.
Yeah. So speaking of not being sponsored by Liquid Death, we are sponsored by directmusicservice.com, and using the promo code Drew and Fuse Show will get you 30% off your first month of activation. So DJs, if you're not on DMS, what are you waiting for? Go over there and use the promo code Drew and Fuse Show. You'll get 30% off your first month of activation. Also, in the description of the video below, we'll have a promo code link for the photo booth supply company. If you're into events, DJing weddings, and you're in the market for a photo booth, make sure you check out that affiliate link. It'll help the show out. It won't help you out, but Drew also promised that if you buy one using that link, he'll send you a personal t-shirt signed and autographed. It may or may not be used, though. Can't make any promises.
It also may or may not be autographed.
Yeah. Yeah, his time's too precious to sign it. Him and Liquid Death have a lot of things in common. Not taking care of your boys. So anyway, also, if you're in the market for some cryo effects, make sure you check out our friends over at Club Cannon and tell them Drew and Fuse sent you. Club Cannons are awesome. Everybody wants a Club Cannon. You need one.
Dude, turn your parties up to 11. Use it at all my events. So definitely highly recommend the Club Cannon. ClubCannon.com.
There you go. Today we have a really special guest. Last week's episode was great. This week kicks off another round of season 2 for us, and we have a great guest. He was born and bred in San Diego. He has exploded within the dance music scene. His originals and his edits deliver a hefty dose of his energetic big room bounce sound that has gained interest and support from some of the world's biggest DJs, including Tiesto, Martin Garrix, the Chainsmokers, Zed, Alinium, Afrojack. They're all playing his stuff, and I'm sure you're playing his stuff too. In 2019, he signed a record deal with Tiesto's Musical Freedom label. He has had some big, high-profile performances lately and some big releases, and he's got more high-profile performances and more big releases coming up. Please help us welcome Cheyenne Giles. Hey.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
How you doing?
What's up?
I'm doing great.
Thanks for being on the show, dude. We're giant fans.
Yeah,
Yes.
Big fans of you, Matt. I was like, fun fact, I was just thinking about this. DMS was actually the first record pool that I ever got a song put on in 2008.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you remember what it was?
Dope.
Yeah, it's still on there. It's like I think it's a Calabria remix. It's like my destination. I don't even know how you say it.
Yeah.
Calabria or
Calabria,
yeah.
yeah, whatever.
You posted it in 2008 and it's still up there. It's kind of crazy.
That's rad.
Wild.
That's cool. That's dope.
Usually we get things started with a little rapid fire questions that aren't so rapid fire. I'm going to play this amazing segment video that's super high budget, as you'll be able to tell, and then we'll get started with some questions.
This is Arnold here, the movie star of Twins and Kindergarten Cop. Drew and Fuse are going to ask you a series of questions, and I want you to answer them immediately. Don't bullshit them. Answer the questions. Hurry! I'm after the chopper. It's now time for rapid fire.
Yeah.
All right, so that's our new Arnold video that we're debuting today. So there we go. Our first question we have for you is: do you play any instruments?
Actually, no. I play the computer.
I was just curious. Your production's so great, and you've developed so.
I mean, I've played the guitar for like a couple years, but I never say that I'm gonna start. I could never play like in a band or something, but I just mess around and do like a chord progression on a guitar, and then maybe take it to the computer. But basically that's all. I just do it for fun.
You do keyboard or anything like that?
No, I think I just punched all my MIDI in. Like I don't even have a MIDI keyboard when I'm doing my MIDI. I like to just write it in.
Whatever works.
Are you fully committed to Record Box or use Serato at all?
No, I'm fully committed to Record Box. It's just, I mean, dude, actually the new Serato update kind of makes me want to go back. But I'm sure Pioneer will probably come out with the next thing. They got to, right?
Yeah, I would imagine they would have to.
Yeah.
I mean, every other tractor, DJ, all of them are using it now. So I wonder how they'll implement that, you know?
Yeah, the one thing I don't like about playing on Record Box and just CDJs in general is my like samples. Like I like to hit on Serato you get to just hit Z, X, C, and V and have your little samples. Like that's what I miss when I'm playing in clubs. It's just those, but I'm sure I could just get a little sampler and just that eventually.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite remixer or producer? And it doesn't have to necessarily be in the DJ world. It could be like a music producer from years ago or anything.
My favorite producer is actually, I mean, it's got to be Skrillex, but then under him is actually just my buddy, fucking Knock 2. He's insane, the best. He's gonna be bigger than Skrillex, I think, at some point.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
One of the questions we have is we like to ask, like, do you have a big bragging moment or something, a moment that's really stuck out within your career so far, a favorite moment in the DJ booth or on stage or anything like that?
I think the one thing I could brag about is if you go to SoundCloud and you look at Tiesto's followers, he's following 5 people, and it's 4 of his. It's like Musical Freedom, like another thing that he does, and then me. So that's my bragging right. That Tiesto only follows me on SoundCloud.
That's awesome.
That's huge, man. That's dope. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's rad. I'm curious how you linked up with Tiesto. Were you just sending him stuff? Did you
No,
try
I
and do
hadn't.
a collab? Did you find your shit? How'd that work?
No, it was my edit of Tremors. Everyone started playing it, and I saw his comment on, I think it was the Chainsmokers or something. They posted them playing it at Lollapalooza, and then I saw his comment to like, whose remix is this? And then they replied, and then he was just in my DMs the next day, and then wanted to hop on a call, and then I sent him other music that I had, and then he's like, dude, he's like, I've never done this before, but I want to sign you to a 6-song record deal with my label. And I was like, okay. And he's like, I want to bring you out to Vegas. We had dinner. He brought me out to Vegas, and then that's when he started like having me play his shows and open for him and stuff. And then we were getting close and stuff, but over the pandemic, he like switched his style. He went like, the business got really crazy, and his main guy came back and stuff. So we're kind of like not doing what we planned on doing, because I was really going to take over and like be Musical Freedom and stuff and work on everything for him, but just didn't work out. So I'm still with him and everything's great, but I'm just not, what was planned that was going to happen in 2019 isn't really what's going on. But I think my next release is with the Chainsmokers, like in this month. So
that's awesome.
I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah.
I think everybody in the pandemic switched, right? The 2020 was just shit, and you know, whether it was good, bad, or just different, everybody is doing something else.
Yeah, for sure.
Seems like it was everybody's year that didn't happen. Everybody I talked to that was like gonna go on, and like they were like, oh my god, this this year is gearing up to be like the best year ever. Everybody I talked to, and then it was like,
yeah,
the floor fell out.
It was such a bad timing for me. It was right when I got signed. I had 2 songs coming out with Tiesto, so those didn't get released because the business just did so well for him. He didn't even expect like the business, because the song before that that he put out was the song called My Frequency with Seven Skies, which is a great song, but it was more EDM. It wasn't like, but when the business came out, that made him like full on like a pop star. It was on the radio. So he had to follow that up with another track, like like what he's doing now. It's like it's very poppy now.
Yeah.
So he kind of just put the records to the side, and we're just gonna leave them.
I do a lot of weddings, and the stuff that I do, the business I can play during my weddings during peak hour. I mean, people recognize it. It's wild, because it usually takes so many years for songs to really transfer over to that. And so it's crazy to me that it did become that big of a record. It was massive.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think anybody was expecting it. Actually, when he showed it to me first, before it was even out too, I was like, I didn't really care for it. But then, dude, but it's so catchy. It just grows on you and grows on you.
It's funny too, like had the pandemic not happened, would that song have even taken off the way that it did? Or like, who knows, but it's like just one of those things.
Yeah.
What DAW do you use to produce with? Do you use Ableton?
Well, from like 2006 to 11, I was in Pro Tools. From 2011 to like 16, I was in Ableton. And then I started producing with Knock 2 a lot, and he was in FL, and he's just so good and taught me so much. And then I love the piano roll in FL way better than Ableton. And we were working together so much in his DAWs that I just ended up switching, and I love FL now. It's just, I don't know. It's better for me creatively. Ableton is just too like.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people use an FL Studio though recently.
And everyone says like the DAW, it doesn't matter what DAW you're in, but in FL, I just feel like you can clip your drums a little bit harder and they smack more than Ableton. Like they won't distort.
That makes sense.
I've always seen like the FL seems like it's super popular in Europe too, right? A lot of the overseas guys are using a lot of FL. Just seems FL and Rekordbox over there just are so prominent.
Yep. I don't know why. Maybe because they all. I know that Martin Garrix is on FL, so everyone just probably tries to copy him.
That could definitely be some of it for sure. Do you have any favorite plugins that are like go-to plugins for you?
I mean, I use Alter Boy a lot. My favorite plugins.
I have Alter Boy on mine.
I mean, dude, I like to use the stock plugins on the easiest, and they sound the best. I don't really go crazy with my plugins.
That's funny. I was watching a video a few years ago. It was like Chainsmokers dissected how they produced Roses, and like a lot of the sounds they used on that song were just stock plugins and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, those are honestly like the best sounds. Like the people that are paid to make those sounds are like the experts. And rather than grabbing a sound that I just like some kid made on Slice or something that just wanted to sell a pack, like the ones on FL are really high quality, and they make sure that they're high quality, and you can't go wrong with them.
Oh, I'm curious real quick about FL. Do you buy it outright, or is it like a subscription based? What is it? Because I have to check it out now. I'm always a nerd for that kind of shit.
I'm pretty sure I just bought it outright. Probably around like $300.
He torrented it. He can't remember because he torrented it illegally.
No, I didn't. I make sure to buy all of it because I just don't want to deal with any kind of hiccup.
I forget.
I used to.
I was watching something with somebody who was like, I'm like, they've kind of produced some big songs, and now they're saying they torrented it. That like, they made them on a torrented version, and I was like, that is hilarious.
If you can afford it, just buy it because it's not worth it. It's not worth the problems, because that's what bugs me the most is when your computer's glitchy or something. It just totally takes your creative like flow out. Totally. Actually, just upgraded my computer now because it's glitching.
Are you on Windows or PC or Mac?
Like I'm talking to you on my MacBook Pro, a maxed out 5K Mac, but I don't even produce on this anymore because it glitches, and so I just bought a $1,400 Dell, and it's been crushing. Like I love it. Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's wild. I am gonna pretend that you didn't say that, and that you still produce on an Apple for my soul. So I don't, because you know what's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna listen to this that's like full on Android guy, and they're gonna just troll Drew and I for. Well, Cheyenne said he uses the Dell, and now they're just never gonna let us hear the end of it.
Well, I mean, I love my Macs, but I don't know, it just wasn't working. Like it was, I needed to do something. So but this is a laptop, and I'm using a full desktop now, so it's more powerful.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
So would you say, we were going to ask what you think your biggest song to date is, but I know the Tremors was big. Do you think another one was bigger or is gonna?
I think my Stay remix is, well, Martin Garrix or Lemonade and Stay has been the ones that Martin Garrix plays in all his sets, and that's been blowing up. But I think I'm Good already has like it's like halfway to Stay, and it's only been out for 3 weeks, and Stay's been out for 6 months. So
Yeah,
on plays on SoundCloud, it's like 30,000, and I think Stay's at 60,000, and that's really good for like SoundCloud nowadays. Like nobody goes to SoundCloud.
I play the like I said, I play the your version of I'm Good, and then Audio One put up a clean version on the site too, where he took like the instrumental and just clipped out the.
Dude, I should have made it clean. I don't know why I did not make it clean. I'm an idiot for that. I usually do. I just totally forgot.
Yeah, I figured it. You just happens, you bounce stuff out, and then it's done,
Yeah.
and you're like, that one's done. On to the next
Yeah,
one.
I sent it away too soon.
Real quick, I could just see that one being great, even like on radio shows for DJs too, because I love how like the drop hits, and then it's kind of like the hype in there too. And I think
Yeah.
it's just like that would be great for if you're in the car like jamming, like that could be cool.
That's definitely my style. I come from a club background where I'm open format DJing, and I just love like all that hype and the
When we had Shoney on, he was that's what he was hyping you up and commenting on how much just your production really leans to the DJ background. You know, a lot of these other festival producers or just producers didn't come from a DJ background. They just started producing first, and then they were forced to DJ. But you come from that DJ background, so you know you don't have a lot of just these lulls, right? Your shit just hits.
Yeah, I like my intros are short. Yeah, I don't like to have a crazy build up because I could just imagine somebody playing this at like a bar, and like the build up way too long, and these girls like that only works if you're on a big festival stage, the big crazy build ups and stuff. So I try to keep them short, sweet, and keep my songs short and sweet, because that's how I mix too. I don't like to be in a song for over 2-3 minutes. Like
It just gets boring if you're DJing sometimes. You're like, all right.
Yeah, I gotta do it. Like I play Sunday nights. Sometimes I just go down and show up to this house spot in PV Firehouse. I get to play just like dope tech house, like when I'm doing my festival stuff, because I like to just drop in and play a set, and it keeps me sharp, because I haven't been playing as off. I don't play like as often as I used to. I used to play 5 nights a week when I was just a local DJ, and then when I got signed and everything, now I'm making a lot more, but I'm playing a lot less. So I like to just, if I don't have a gig for a week, I could definitely roll down there and play a set. And it's so hard for me because all those DJs, like they try to play like super proper tech house sets, so they're making 3 drops, 2 drops, and then I go in on quick mixing. They're like, what the hell? It's so hard for me to just wait.
That's cool. You kind of cut out when it said you said it's in Pacific Beach. That's where you're playing when you do that.
Yeah, it's this place called Firehouse, and it's like the best house party Sunday nights. It's great. Actually played there last night.
Did we eat there, Drew? Was that the spot we ate at?
We ate in PB. We did not go to his specific spot, but yeah, we ate there.
Okay.
For we were in that area. Yeah, it's a really dope area. Very, very college town. I think more so than downtown, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I loved that area though. When I was out there, I could see why it's very desirable to be there too. I mean,
where are you guys actually located?
I'm in Long Beach, California. He's in Cincinnati.
Okay, yeah, I'm in Cincinnati. I know you just did a show here too.
Yeah, I just played there. The Gala.
Yep.
What's it called?
So that place is right around the corner from a bar I do every Friday. I work for one company in town. He owns 2 spots. One's a bar, one's a club. And I do the bar on Fridays and the club on Saturdays. The bar is right around the corner from Gala in that little like party bar district area between the stadiums there. So
yeah, that place. I mean, I love that like area too.
Yeah, it's very much
Super
like
cool.
Gas Lamp, like in San Diego. Very, very similar to that.
Well, it plays off the stadium, right? So the stadium dumps, and it's between the 2 stadiums. So the stadium dumps, and then everybody just goes crazy down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a vibe.
How was the show that night? Was it good?
Yeah, it was great. They actually had me play like, what's your guys' when do you guys supposed to cut? What's your guys like time? Is that they had me play till like 2:30?
Oh, okay, that's awesome. Yeah, usually we cut at 2. So
Yeah. They're like, "Do you mind
that's
playing
cool.
later?" Like it's like crazy. So I was like, "Yeah." I was having fun, and my flight was like I had to get up at 4:30 anyway, so I was like, "I'm gonna stay up." So I'm like, "Yeah, I'll play as long as you want."
I do that all the time, and I can only imagine just having you on there with that background of yours, just coming in, and you do have that profile where you're doing all this production and all that stuff, but coming in as almost like a party bar DJ that's able to just rip through tracks, and I can imagine like people are like, "Oh shit! Like, where did this guy come from?" That'd be dope.
Especially playing that club, like, in a more club setting like that too. I'm sure you can probably get away with a
Ye-
lot more than you can, when you're
Yeah,
doing your
I
festival
was
set.
having fun with it for sure. I wasn't just playing my Cheyenne Giles set. I was just messing around playing Mr. Brightside and
You gotta be one of the bigger artists they've had there recently. They've had you and Valentino Khan in there recently, are like you're probably
yeah,
like the 2.
I just saw that they posted that they have Joel Corey coming like this week or something.
Yeah, yeah, something I saw
That guy's
so for a
massive.
while there, they were, pandemic, they weren't doing any bookings, but they've really started ramping it up again. So hopefully you'll get to
Hmm.
come back and do that again.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I like that city too.
Have you ever been to Cincy before this? Before
No,
that?
I played at Columbus though like the month before. That was cool too.
Okay. Yeah, Columbus is it's a big city. I think it's bigger than Cincinnati, like by
It's like
size of people.
2 hours away from Cincy.
Yeah, 2 hours away. But I would say Columbus is a lot more collegey than Cincy. I mean, Ohio State's there, and
Yeah,
but yeah, if you come back again, let me know. I'd love to meet up or something, kick it.
yeah, absolutely.
I want to highlight this, but my question is, like, if they do want that stay remix, and since some of the record pools can't post it, is it downloadable on your SoundCloud, or where could
Yeah,
they
I
grab
throw
it?
everything on my SoundCloud and everything's for free. You just might have to throw me your email address or something and hit the gate. But yeah, I put everything on my SoundCloud. I wish my SoundCloud was my Spotify, because if you go to my Spotify and look who I am, it does not represent me as an artist. It's so bad. Um, advice for upcoming producers, like if you ever like get the opportunity to remix big artists, like maybe wait until you're established yourself, because I remixed like Tiesto and I remixed Nightmare and I remixed like all that popular stuff on my Spotify page isn't even like mine. Like none of my stuff's getting to the popular list. Because it's all Tiesto and it's all his remixes. So it's like it kind of sucks right now. I can't get any of my own releases like on the popular, because I mean obviously Spotify's a business. They just want the records that are selling to be at the top.
And it's
But I wish that there was a like some kind of way that you can make your like at least have your own popular on Spotify. But I get it.
What's crazy is I just saw this article the other day, and it was like Spotify has gone from uploading 70,000 tracks a week to 100,000 tracks. Like they're like all happy they hit this new milestone. I'm like, this is fucking crazy. You're putting up
Yeah.
100,000 tracks a week.
Yeah,
Like,
it's insane. Like nobody can get attached to music anymore. I feel like, because it's just music
No.
it gets recycled so quickly that you don't have like a song of the summer anymore, or like I don't know. Just there was like when Levels came out, it was like Levels for like a year, and people like loved it. And now it's like if Levels came out now, like it would be like what's gonna be the next in 3 months? It's like what's next?
that was kind of what I was just going to ask you, is if you feel like one of the things we talk about all the time with guests is like, just like staying power and reach of songs. Do you feel that even like when you're playing festivals and you're playing shows like that? Obviously, I feel like personally, I'm not playing festivals, but I feel like you can tell there's certain songs that are like, that's a hit at a festival and like it's still big at festivals, but I don't play this at clubs. Like, do you still notice that even with playing festivals?
Maybe not as much at festivals, but yeah, you definitely feel that. That's what I take in. I actually that's what I when I picked what I want to remix. It's like something that has already had staying power that's still here. Like the reason I'm doing Tremors and the reason I'm doing Save the World is like those like they have staying power. Like all this new stuff, it's hard to remix because I don't feel people like had a whole summer of listening to it with their friends, and then they're gonna have the nostalgia that they are with the older stuff, because songs weren't coming out as fast back then. So people had the whole summer to listen to these records and get attached to them and have memories to them. And now I just don't feel that. But I mean, obviously there's the anomalies, like obviously Do It To It. There's Losing It, like records. It's not as many. Like if you think about 2012 and you have like everything that Cascade is putting out and Alesso is putting out, and that those are all still here. Like why? Like there's other great songs, but it was just, I don't know. I miss that.
I was going to ask that about now that you've switched over and you're doing a lot more festivals and you're doing such bigger stuff, even just staying unique in that arena, like you're saying, you're kind of fighting over like the top biller or this, how to pick those songs that still hit, or do you get the other artists' playlists or stuff like that to stay away from,
Yeah, that's another thing too. I have so many remixes of other artists, and what I like to play in my sets, I got to be really careful, like what lineup I'm in and stuff. And a lot of times, my manager might ask for instead of playing a Friday slot, to play the Saturday slot. If I like Alessa's behind me or Tiesto, and they want me to play some of those records. And then also, I know that some of the big DJs would just rather have me on another day, so you don't have to deal with, like, because I run through so many classics during my set and I pump them out, and I feel like they're scared to follow me because
I would believe that. I would believe that.
I believe that too, and that's actually, I would consider that a compliment. That they're aware of you, that it's like that.
It is, but then at the same time, I feel like I'm not getting added to a couple, like some shows, because it's like nobody wants to play
because
after
of
me,
it. Because
yeah,
you're too good of a DJ. What a fucking crock of shit that is. Like,
yeah.
That would be tough. I mean, we still fight with it just with the regular style thing, and so I could definitely see it, and it is a thing. They need to shine. That's part of that. That's part of what their deal is, right? And so I guess it's just getting more and more creative with some of that stuff, or digging really deep into what that next classic was, or what something that maybe the new 21-year-olds or 18 to 21-year-olds want to hear that isn't so-called classic anymore, right?
Yeah, that's why I jumped on I'm Good so fast. Like I started right when I heard that, I went to the studio and busted out a remix like in a day. And it was like right when it came out. I think I was like one of the first remixes to come out. So I was like, I need to get this out now. I wanted to be first, and I think I made that in like, yeah, maybe 1 or 2 sessions. Got it out really quickly. Because that was just, once you hear that kind of song, it has the nostalgia already there, and you know that has staying power, and it was just such an easy remix for me.
We've talked about that one a lot on the show. People are probably sick of it, but when it just dropped, I was in Ireland. It's been in like 4 weeks now since I was just there, and like I feel like I liked it. It came out and I liked it, but then it wasn't until I went there I was like, oh, I need to really be playing this, because I was hearing it at like every little bar there, and I'm like, this is wild. Like, and yeah, now I feel like I'm hearing it on the radio here and stuff too.
Yeah, you can tell that even like producers are going back because they don't know what to make anymore either. Like you can tell they're like, Tiesto just put out that song yesterday. What is it? The Black Eyed Peas song, Pump It. That's
really
crazy too.
I haven't heard that yet.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one yet.
It's actually really good too.
I do have a question. So with that, I'm good, and maybe just because Guetta's name was attached to it, it made you jump on it. But T-Pain had released the same track, just about. It was a sample of Blue as well.
He did?
Maybe like 2 months before. Yeah, it kind of did nothing.
Oh, really?
But it was good as well. Yeah. What was
it
it
a house
called?
song?
It was called I'm Blue, and it was Softest Hard and T-Pain.
Oh, really? I'm playing with Softest Hard in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, literally, I think that song dropped. Here, let me see if I can find the date.
It was maybe a month, maybe 2 months before, and then all of a sudden we saw the Guetta one, and we're like, oh, I wonder if the labels just had them both up, and the labels were like, fighting over who was going to do that remix.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of wondering too. I've been seeing that a lot. Like DJ Vice put out the song Bump Bump Bump, and then like a month later, I saw Wax Motif put out the same like song. And I'm like, same thing with Ferrari. I've heard like that samples a bunch and stuff. I think just, I don't know how, like if the labels are just like, hey, we're giving license out for these for these.
I wonder. That's
now,
what I was
like,
just gonna say. I wonder if the labels are like, "Hey, we got this one cleared. Feel free to use this for something."
yeah,
And
probably pass it to a couple people and then
Yeah, they throw it into they dump it into a pool, and maybe they're pitching it to a bunch of different people, and they all put up their stuff, and they're like, okay, we're gonna use this one, and we're not gonna do this one. So maybe T-Pain was like, well,
yeah.
fuck you, I'm gonna put it up anyways. So I
Yeah.
wonder,
Yeah.
a couple more questions in our not so rapid fire that we got to ask. And one is, we ask this to everybody, and Drew and I have been joking that one of these days we're going to start a little t-shirt shop for the podcast because we have too many good one-liner things. But this one is the best non-curse word, one-word insult that you would say to somebody. Non-curse word, one-word insult.
Is douche a curse word?
douche works. Yeah, no, that
Douche
works.
Totally.
That would be my insult. That's not a. What are other ones? I want to hear what other people say.
We've gotten
Is there any good ones?
jabroni, clown.
Don't put douche. Put doucher. You're a doucher.
Okay, doucher.
Doucher.
Yeah. I like that. Let's see. Now you're putting us on the spot, and I can't. I'm like,
Wait, we were kind of pissed because we started writing them down later to go back and re-listen to some of these.
let's see. Shoney's was scallywag.
Of course it was.
Dookie.
All right, I don't feel so bad about mine now. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
No, we've got some interesting ones for sure.
Garbage. Like, the best is
Dweeb.
people
Dweeb.
people will sit there and go, well, this is how I use this word, and then they'll tell us a story of when they last used it. And then like, I was sitting in the car in traffic. Yeah.
Bozo, that was one.
Oh, Saber was lint liquor. That was pretty fun. So there we go. That's some of the ones we've gotten. Let's see. Okay, and then another question I have is, as far as finding inspiration to work on more tracks and more projects, do you have a trick to staying motivated or staying, keeping the inspiration fresh?
Yeah, I always get stuck, and what helps me is just like listening to more music. I don't know, going to the gym. Like what happens to me is I always just start listening to my own stuff at the gym because like I work on it and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to listen to it a million times and see what I need to fix. And that's not healthy for me. I gotta like always listen to the new stuff at the gym. Like that's what's been working for me to stay, because I always, every single time I'm at the gym and I'm listening to music and I hear something, I get inspired by it. Like no matter what. Like, and I'm trying to just listen to more 90s hip hop and that kind of stuff and just try to get. I don't like to listen to EDM to get inspired though. It's because that's like I'm gonna copy somebody. I like to get inspired by I'm inspired by, I listen to like Keep Their Heads Ringing by Dr. Dre. At that ring ding, or hey you sitting over there, you better get up out of your chair. That part I want to sample and work the body down. No time, like that is gonna be fire. Like on some piano chord stuff, like that's what gets me inspired. Like that's like something that happened today at the gym. Like that's how I was like, oh shit, I want to work on that. So just listening to more music and just and that and just rolling through samples on Splice, you just like all of a sudden hit a sample that you're like, oh, this is a crazy sample, and then you get inspired, and then it's off to the races.
I'll give you something that I've been holding to my pocket, but I'll throw it to you. Is 90s alt rock, like Soundgarden, or they have like some crazy little guitar riffs or some just random shit that I think's never been used, as samples. Throwing it out there. Soundgarden specifically is that went and it just goes back and forth, and I think there's some crazy shit in some of that 90s alt rock that just
I have a playlist of that too. I listen to like Bush and all that kind of stuff. Yeah
So some ideas right there.
I think that's cool. I think it's also good that you're doing that because like you said, I think if you start copying people's sound, you kind of start losing your own sound, so
that drives me crazy. That's a thing I hate about EDM. Is just like I feel like if somebody has a cool style or a cool song, everyone just tries to copy it. And like I feel like that even happened to me. Like I came out with like, I felt like with my own sound, and then over the pandemic, it's everyone else's sound now. I mean, I get people that are inspired or they're like, oh, I like this, so I want to make something like it. And honestly, that can obviously be to my benefit, where I could start a genre. Like, I mean, honestly, like remember when Will Sparks and stuff like literally created Melbourne Bounce, and they had their own genre. So I mean, it could be beneficial, but at the same time, it kind of irks me that people just literally Fisher's losing it is dope. Now everyone's a tech house DJ and trying to make the same thing. It's like, let that guy have his song, let it like be his style. Like, why does everyone have to just go and like copy it? That bugs me. So I always try to stay away from copying people.
DJs are biters in general, man. It's something that I think you go on and they're just fucking rip off artists, bro. Sometimes I'm right there with you. It bugs the fuck out of me too.
Yeah, that's how I kind of copied, honestly, to like how I got my style was like, I want to make a song that is like if a Martin Garrix, Chris Lake, and Skrillex collabed. So that's how I came up with my style. So like if there's like Martin Garrix, like big synths, and then the middle has like 808 like bounciness, and that's like Chris Lake, and then the end will do something like, actually the end is usually if you listen to like I'm Good, there's 3 sections of the drop. There's the big section, I call that like my Martin Garrix section. The middle section like Joyride, Skrillex bouncing and like are kind of crazy, and then at the end it's like Chris Lake with a switch of the bass line, where it's like more of a tech house bass line. So that's like my style. That's like my ingredients. So I kind of copy them, but like in a different way, like mash it all together kind of thing.
Yeah,
no, that's cool.
I love that.
And then one final question, and you already kind of gave some, but if you had any advice for your younger self going back, what would it be?
Not put out any music until it was ready. I think it took a long time I was putting out mediocre stuff for so long that it took, like when it did get good, it took a lot of people more time to notice, because a lot of people had stopped downloading my stuff at a certain point or something. You don't take a look out of it anymore. And a lot of people, I honestly lie sometimes about how I've been DJing for over 15 years, but I lie sometimes because people don't care how long I've been doing it. Like they want to, like, I'm like, oh, I just started in 2019 when I got signed. Like that's because I don't know why. I just feel like nobody cares that it just makes me, I just think it like tax years onto my age or something. If I say I'm an old DJ, it doesn't really matter now. All the DJs like are old now, so it's not. I don't think age is a factor anymore. But I mean, sometimes I get self-conscious about it.
Well, I think it's just one of those things, yeah, that people don't understand too. Like they don't understand the grind of like what you had to do to, the years you spent just working in the clubs, figuring out how to DJ well.
Yeah, and for a long time I did suck at producing. It took so many, like, I don't know. It's just, how like you're playing a video game and you can't beat a level, and then you like take a break from it and you come back and all of a sudden you beat it first try, and you're like, you just came with a different perspective, and like that just like one day, just, I don't know, stuff started clicking. And I mean, I started working with different people. Like Knock helped me a lot and taught me stuff, and that like changed my game. And can't thank him enough for that. But I don't know. I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Kind of. You can edit that, right?
No, we get it. It's, you got to always just be trying to do something new and just always growing,
right.
And
I think the age thing is tough. Drew and I talk about it a lot, actually. I mean, Drew is almost 8 years older than me.
Yeah, we're almost 10 years apart.
Yeah. So, and then I rhyme with 25 plus 10. And
yeah,
for anybody that's really bad at math, maybe they won't get that.
Dude, honestly, it doesn't matter. And all in our own head. Like, I mean, we shouldn't be doing frat parties and stuff like that. But just making a living DJing is it shouldn't be like, Tiesto's 50, David Guetta's 50. Everyone's like, even Martin Garrix is freaking 27 now, and he's not a little boy.
I just don't think it matters at all. To be honest with you, I think a seasoned DJ almost gets a lot more, right? Because you understand records and you understand the era of how people listen to music. Like, I mean, you've already mentioned this, right? So knowing that college girl, her big songs were, junior high, high school, graduation, and then where she's at now. Those are her songs that will always stick with her for life. So being able to just notice that and click with it is way
Yep.
more important than being a young DJ and whatever. They don't know that shit. The young DJs don't get it.
Yeah, that helps me when I'm producing too. Like I know samples that other people don't. Like these kids don't. Like I have all that knowledge of me downloading music in 2008 and 9 that where the songs weren't popular, but I still like loved them, and I can go back and listen to them and take ideas from them.
I got a question, and it kind of results to what we're talking about a little bit. But with, you know, when you started DJing, and I'm sure you got this we've all probably gotten it, and I know Drew has because we've talked about it. But did you get like where people didn't take you serious because you're just like, oh, well, I'm a DJ, and now that because your career is elevated to where it's kind of you're doing bigger shows and you're got songs coming out with bigger artists, do you find that people are now coming back to you that weren't taking you serious then?
Yeah, definitely. I like some of the promoters that weren't booking me for a long time, or like I wasn't bringing enough girls to the club or something. Now is like, hey, can I get you to play at my spot? It's like, nope, not anymore.
That price tag's like quadruple now.
I think it's even with like family and friends, it's hard sometimes, you know, they just see as you're a DJ and they don't understand it. And I get sometimes from certain family members where they're like, when are you going to stop doing all that? And just, you know, like, it's like
crazy to
probably
me
never.
Yeah, it's such a great job. I'm so happy that I landed into DJing. It's insane what we do. I mean,
Well,
those 4-hour sets that get a little repetitive. If you do 2 of them in a night or something, you're doing a bar and then you're doing a club. Like those can wear you down, and sometimes you're like questioning, like, what the hell am I doing? But I mean, at the end of the day, we're just sitting there playing music for people. It's fucking cool.
I remind myself of that regularly. It's fucking lucky, man. I love what I do, and I really don't want to change. I don't want it to end, man. It's fun.
Yeah.
I like the stress. Stress is amazing.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move forward with talking a little music production, but first, we got this brand new video for music production. Here we go.
Hey, what is up, Drew and Fuse? It is Mark McGrath from the band Sugar Ray, off the charts, but always in our hearts. Hey, Drew and Fuse, when I'm not busy being the handsome, dashing fella that I am, at least I had a few good years in the 90s, I work on music, like writing hit #1 songs like Fly and Every Morning. Maybe someday you'll have a hit. Let's talk production. Let's talk inspiration. Actually, you know what? I don't even like Drew and Fuse. Who are they?
All right.
Celebrity Mark McGrath right there. Yeah.
So Drew and I just think that's like when stuff is intentionally bad, it's good.
Oh yeah,
that's our whole shtick with the all of our videos. They're intentionally bad, so they're amazing.
Nice.
So talking production, you were mentioning that you have a song that's about to release with the Chainsmokers. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so you know the song Rump Shaker. I mean, you know the sample. It's actually not from that's that sample, that horn sample.
Oh yeah.
I always love that sample. I mean, everyone loves that sample. People sample it all the time. But actually, you know the song Friday from the movie Friday by Ice Cube?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I always loved that song, and I always wanted to sample it. So I sampled it, made it into a house song, and it uses that horn. Like I always try to find something that already has a little bit of nostalgia to it, you know, for the staying power that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
And so I started it, and I was done with it. Honestly, I loved it, and I sent it into Musical Freedom, and Musical Freedom was like, dude, this is the record. Like this is gonna be great, but we think that we should attach a bigger name to it. So they ended up sending it to people, and then Chainsmokers actually grabbed it, and not like they're gonna take my record. They obviously are doing their own stuff to it, and they did. We've been working together on a whole new second breakdown, and everything's been great. And we literally just finished it like this weekend. Drew just asked me if I wanted to master it or if he wanted to master it, and I said like, let's get it mastered. Actually, he's got something really dope.
I'm just curious. Musical Freedom, that is it's like a collaboration group, or it's the record
It's
label?
Musical Freedom is Tiesto's record label.
Okay.
It's under Spinnin's like head Spinnin's ahead, but then they have other sub labels. Musical Freedom's Tiesto's one. It's one of the major ones. If you listen to like BPM, like almost all those songs that come on BPM are like signed to Musical Freedom.
Okay.
So when this one gets released, will it be released under Musical Freedom?
Yeah, it's gonna be Musical Freedom, and it might be like also like because I know I had to sign a contract with Sony, so it might be with them too. I don't know, doing like because usually I just sign it to Musical Freedom and it's done. But now that the Chainsmokers are on it, it's way more important and everything's going. It's a lot more shit I gotta
Oh, that's
sign.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
exciting too. I mean, I feel like, and this is not a knock to them by any means, but I feel like their fans and the crowd have been kind of demanding a harder song from them since basically
Yeah,
Split.
so the song is basically they were looking for the next Split and they heard it in this and they're like, dude, this could be it. And it's I was trying to like push him into making that cool like breakdown like in Split too, but we tried it, it just wasn't working. But I love that like that what is it? Aaliyah that they sampled in Split? I think it was Aaliyah song.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Pretty sure.
I don't know.
I think that's
Played
what he
so
said.
many different versions of Split now that I'm like, wait, what?
I have a remix to that too. If you didn't, the Split Roses one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
I'm curious. So they just dropped an album, and so moving forward with this kind of stuff, does it just get released? Because releases are totally changed across the board now, right? So if it's going to go on Spotify or it's going to go under something, it just gets pushed as a single. It tries to get pushed out on BPM or any of those other radio stations, and then they might grow it into an album. But for whatever it is, it's probably just going to stay a single.
Yeah, this is definitely just going to be a single. It's kind of a filler record for them, I think, because they just put out their whole album, and I think they were releasing like one song a week for like until the album was out. But I mean, all those records are just definitely just for listening to, not playing in clubs, and they needed a club banger. And I mean, I turned this record in November of last year. Actually, I remember getting the text message while I was playing EDC, being like, "Hey, Chainsmokers want to jump on this." I was like so happy getting that text, and I was playing EDC the same day, the main stage. I was like, dude, this is the best day of my life.
That's awesome.
That's huge, man. Hell yeah, that's dope. Yeah. I'm curious. I'm sorry to derail just a minute, but I hear about that EDC experience. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Dude, it was great. I got EDC Orlando main stage. I was early in the day, so it wasn't like packed, but it was great. It was fun. Dude, do you know that stage is that big owl and everything? I thought that was just like a huge production stage. You know, that's just a giant inflatable.
Really?
Yeah, it's just a big balloon. That's why the lights are shining through it and stuff. I thought it was just I don't know what I thought it was, but like it's just so crazy that it's just like you just walk behind stage and there's just a bunch of like air compressors just blowing this big ass balloon up.
That's wild. So are some of the other ones like that then too? Like some of these other
yeah, I don't know because I only saw that stage. But all the other festivals I've been at is just a giant stage. But the EDC one was kind of crazy.
I saw that you recently did play, or at least something in Toronto with Chainsmokers that you did.
Yeah, I played Velt Festival, and then that was an after party with the Chainsmokers.
That's
at,
cool.
Rebel. Rebel's like one of the biggest clubs in Canada, if it's not the biggest.
And that's like
a lot of fun.
A big room club, like a Vegas style club in Toronto, right?
Yeah. Like
that's awesome.
Huge.
And to kind of circle back around, the release with the Chainsmokers is supposed to happen and soon.
Yeah, I mean, we just finished it this weekend. We're still like signing contracts and literally getting the artwork done with the designer right now. And I don't know exactly what date, but it's going to be pushed out quick because I know they want it out soon. It should have been out a long time ago, but we've been trying to battle getting this sample cleared with that horn is a tough sample to do it the right way and actually get cleared and paid for and where we money off it. It took a long time. So finally, a year later.
Oh, that's
awesome.
And hopefully it'll be great for you and your career as well. You know,
hopefully.
I can't wait to hear it and hopefully
Yeah, I think you guys will play it.
It'll do well.
Yeah, it's definitely
We're
a banger.
definitely stoked to help push the shit out of it, and as long as that S word wasn't involved in it, then we'll definitely be able to push it heavier.
Yeah, but we can
Yeah.
always help push it on like just the podcast outlet and like push the episode. Like even if this episode were to come out, you know, tomorrow and the song comes out 2 months from now, it'll be like, hey, remember when we had Cheyenne on? Like, here's his new track with Chainsmokers that was talked about in the episode or whatever, you know.
Dope.
So that'd be cool. One of the other things that we like to do is talk travel tips, and we have another little video, if you don't mind talking about just some of the things and tips you use when traveling.
Are you gonna play it?
Yep, I'll play it.
Okay.
Great Scott! Hey there, Drew and Fuse! It's me, Doc Brown! Quick, jump in the DeLorean! We need to get this episode up to 88 miles per hour! Now, hit the flux capacitor, and let's travel to the future!
They just get worse.
That one's so bad. It's just so bad. But you're traveling a lot these days. Do you have any travel tips or things that you've learned or suggestions you would give?
I mean, not really. Obviously the easy ones are always have clear, always get pre-check. I've been doing, if you're ever like stuck in a middle seat or something, always be constantly up refreshing that app on your seats, because they always change, like all the way up to like you can be 5 minutes before boarding a plane and be on your app switching your seat, and a lot of the times the last like 15 minutes something will open up and you'll get a window. Or and also like I realized like if you're flying like a budget airline like Spirit or something, if you don't check in and then you wait to check in at like the very last second, and then you don't get a seat assignment, you can actually like look on the app and see like seats are available before you go and talk to the person, and then request the seat you want. And that's a way, because I mean, obviously if you're looking at the app and it's Spirit and all those seats are like $39 or something for the upgrade, it's free if you just wait and you go and ask for it.
That's a good
Interesting.
tip.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Do you handle all of your own bookings? Is it just like an all
I like-
inclusive? Hey, this is the fees, and you handle it.
Usually I have to do my own flights, but because I want the points and I want to make flight time and everything, because I don't trust anybody else making my bookings, or they'll end up giving me a 40-minute window to get to my next flight or my layover or something. That's another thing. You got to like really look at your layovers. A lot of the times a short layover is not necessarily the best option if you're flying out of somewhere that, I mean, if you're 30 minutes late to take off, but you only have a 40-minute connection, you're screwed. So I like to get like an hour and 15 to an hour and a half layovers. I mean, if you're flying from like San Diego to Arizona to Vegas, you don't really have to worry about it. But if you're going like back east and there's weather or something where there's a chance of delay, make sure to pay attention to your layover time. You won't be missing flights, because that sucks.
It does suck, and I would totally go into what you have to say, because that shit happens to me all the time. I go to Florida a lot, and I don't know, for whatever reason, the last like 3 flights have been 20 minutes, 30-minute delays, and you're just like cutting it so fucking close. You know, I'm running sprint at like 7 a.m.
There's nothing worse than that. Yeah, your calves and your shins are on fire, but nothing's worse. Or like you'll like land on the tarmac, and then they're like, oh, there's no gate available for 30 minutes, and you're like, my flight's boarding. We're here. I can see my plane right there. It's so annoying.
Or even transferring baggage. I mean, I try and carry on as much stuff as I can, but sometimes I have to check ship. So if you're barely going to make your connection, it's almost going to definitely miss the your baggage getting onto that connection.
Yeah, I don't trust that. I never check a bag. I always just carry a backpack. I mean, unless it's like a week tour or something. But I try to.
So a lot of your shows, is it just one-offs back and forth every weekend, or are you like out?
Like I have my weekends where I do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but mostly I mean, I'm not as busy as I want to be right now, to be honest. I wish I was living out of a suitcase and stuff, but I've had the luxury to do a show and come home. Shows are growing though. I'm happy with what I'm making and where I'm going, but I definitely wish I was DJing more.
I think it'll come. I think your stuff has been great, and
Yeah.
it seems like you're blowing up, a lot more, and I think it's gonna come. So
Hopefully. I just had a slow year of releases too. I didn't release much. I only released games and a song with Blue Claire called Chemistry. And then I did a remix for Martin Horger. So I only had 3 songs the entire year that I put out that were official. All the other are just like edits. I did Lemonade and Stay. But I had a slow year. This year I'm putting out tons of music, and obviously the release with Chainsmokers, and then I might put out an EP. So I'm gonna be a lot more busy this year. So a lot more I think a lot more opportunities going to come with it.
Do
Hopefully.
originals push harder or remixes push harder?
I think so because in just Spotify has gotten so big. I'm just listening to Spotify. Nobody really goes to my SoundCloud. So and plus when I'm releasing on Spotify, it's usually with a label and stuff. So I'm getting the labels pushing me for the entire month of like promos and stuff. So I get musical freedoms, like social media, basically for the month. So that helps big time. And they don't really care about. I mean, SoundCloud's great to get stuff into DJ's hands and playing my music, but to get to the retail listener, it's got to be Spotify. I wish all my remixes were on Spotify.
Have you tried the TikTok avenue or the Reels avenue? Because we're finding that they're not flagging shit anymore, and you can actually post it to where then people could then use your remix for their own stuff.
Yeah, I definitely got to be better at that. My management team's on me about that. I need to. When I do them, it kind of looks a little forced. I need to figure out like my lane in it. I still haven't figured out a lane in it. Because I just hate sucking at stuff, and I feel like when I do it, it looks forced, and it bothers me. So that's why I haven't like really fully committed, because I just haven't really found a lane. I don't want to do production tutorials, and I like too many people are doing the like 5 songs a week.
Yeah,
I don't know. And I'm not a comedian, so I don't know.
I feel what you're saying. I don't want to rip that kind of stuff off, and I some of it's really cheesy, and I don't like a lot of that either. And it's like, it's just not. I get.
But you got to play the game. Like I remember coming into the industry, and all these old DJs were like hating on me for like what I was doing or what I was playing, or they were just old salty, and I don't want to be that old salty guy to these new kids. Like they found their avenues, and it's working for them. I better get in the game. They're gonna run me over, Like I took all those guys' gigs that were just being old and salty. I ended up taking their gigs because they didn't ever want to change. They didn't ever want to like start playing EDM and stuff. So
totally.
Very fine line. So it is walking that without being cheese, but
it's okay to be cheesy too. I just need to be cheesy in a cool way. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
What something that I would maybe say is just because if you can get your song onto the platform to where people can search it, they could pick your remix over everybody else. So I don't know how to do that without you having to be do a video for yourself, but even just having that on that platform.
I mean, I do post videos. I've even posted a TikTok today, but it's such a produced kind of thing, and that doesn't really do well on TikTok or these produced videos. It's more just being real and like stuff. That works better.
So random. Yeah, the ones that hit are so random. Even with us, like we don't have big social media numbers for the show in terms of like compared to other things, but like the ones that hit for us, it's just like so weird. We don't know, and I don't know if you've seen, it's hard for us because we're in different, I'm East Coast, you guys are West Coast, but so we've done a lot of recording together on the green screen, and I've done my Billy Mace impressions over here, where we're doing
nice.
Yeah, so that we've done some of those, and those have done well for us, spoof.
Yeah,
we did spoof stuff, and like obviously we are cheesy. That's kind of what the theme is of all of our videos, and so if you need help on the cheesy side of making videos,
that's another thing. I live alone. I don't know. It's just hard for me to get motivated to like when you're just by yourself to like be silly and be on TikTok. I got to do it though. I keep saying. I literally just wrote it down like something like thinking to prove. I was like, I need to get better at it, just to put it in my head. Like, do it, Sean. Like, stop putting it off. Because every time I open it up, some of these views are 2.5 million views on some random thing. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Exposure is just absolutely nuts. And maybe, you know, we're asking you about your festival shit. And I know you said the shows are a little bit slower than you want, but that's something that a lot of people like, you know, have always dreamed of. And so I think if any other DJ is looking up to you, that could be a major thing where it's just having a 360 camera and you on stage. You know, I know I'd geek out on that, you know, so that could be an easy way of doing it without maybe recording the live audio and the other one and kind of blending it somehow to where you can still hear the crowd, but it's a little more fresh. That could be a way, you know, and just having that on stage, you know, that behind the scenes stage shit, I think could be big.
Yeah,
that would be dope. One of the things that we are going to conclude with, and we're asking everybody, but I don't have the video for it queued up, and Drew will edit it in, is we're calling it the sauce, and it's the last takeaway or something you would hope that people would take away from listening to this podcast episode with you. What would be that takeaway?
Just always be giving back to the DJ community. Like even if you're making mashups, if you're making edits, you can be the best turntablist in the world. You can be the best DJ, but if you're not putting out edits and other DJs aren't supporting your edits and playing them out, like you're never going to get the exposure that's needed to prove that you're the best DJ out there. There's tons of great DJs that are in San Diego that aren't going to get to my level because they're just lackluster on putting edits out and mashups. Like that's where you're really going to get the exposure is through production. You can be the best DJ, you can and practice all you want, but unless you're producing a little bit, I don't think you really have all that great of a chance, in my opinion.
I totally agree. I think you need to be doing something. That's the easiest way, because otherwise you just someone else messages us where it's always like, oh, it is, you know, I don't know. It is what it is. Like I might have to listen to an hour-long mix to know that you're decent or whatever. But if I've heard like 4 or 5 of the tracks that you've made that I like, and I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I respect this person.
Also another thing I'd say that I've learned is I always thought you just got to be a good DJ. You have to have great music. No, you have to sell tickets. Like even if your music's great, I feel like my music's pretty good. I'm a good DJ, but like I'm having a hard time getting people through the door. So like TikTok's a good thing that I need to be on. Like you have to have a full-on brand. Start a community within your fans on Instagram. Like if you start a little like Discord community and just grow that way. The hard thing for me right now that I'm battling is actually hard ticket sales, because once you get to a certain level, that's all promoters care about is selling tickets. And if you're not a ticket seller, they're obviously going to go to the next TikTok guy who's going to sell the room out. They don't really care like about your music. It's about ticket sales. So if you're not getting booked or you're wondering why you're not big yet, it's like if your name's on the door, like how many tickets are you really going to sell? So I'm like I'm realizing that now. Like I have to figure out some way to hit the retail. Like, I'm a DJ's DJ. I feel like all the DJs are playing my stuff. Everyone knows me. I can walk into pretty much any club and hear at least one of my edits pretty much in a night. But I'm not getting I'm not as busy. I'm not getting the looks that I want because literally it's really hard to sell tickets.
I understand.
Yeah, that hard ticket sale versus the soft ticket sale is definitely, I've heard that been brought up a lot before. So that is interesting.
Well, hopefully you'll gain a lot of new fans with the new track being attached with the Chainsmokers. That you'll be able to capitalize on some of that, you know.
Yeah, we're happy to push it as much as we can, dude.
And we'll help as much as we can. Yeah.
Cool. So, I appreciate that.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much going to wrap up the show for today. We really appreciate you taking the time to be on here with us and chat with us. And
I'm down to do it again down the road too. Let's do it.
Maybe we could get you on a music episode down the road, and we'll just talk some of the big festival tracks or shit that people should be playing. Yeah, it'd be dope.
Okay, great. Sounds good. I'm gonna go eat this pizza.
Awesome. Tell the listeners where they can find you at on social media and they can find your music.